Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gregory. I love the way you explain it. You know, the bad feeling or the bad thought is always is one of the things that's really bothering me. I was not a good single mother, or I ruined my son's life, or I ruined my life because I didn't know better than that. It really sometimes gets so much energy from me.
And those go on and on like that, right?
Explain it right now. But what is I know that's only a feeling and only as a thought. But what is how should I pray a lot to stay away from that thinking. But what is another way, like I'm studying, I'm going to school right now, I'm 52 years old. But what is another way except praying to get away? I mean, like stay away from those kind of the thinking.
Oh, that's a great question. And what are you studying in school, by the way?
Oh, I'm getting my bachelor's degree in nursing.
In nursing, okay. So you like to take care of people, yes?
Yes, I love. I was in the politics for 12 years, and then I came to the nursing, field, and it looked like it. Like it.
Yeah, great, excellent. Well, okay. So your question was, what are some ways that I can get outside of that kind of thinking that I call it looping, kind of like a tape loop on a machine that keeps playing the same tape over and over. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a great question. There are many techniques and technologies. I use NLP and hypnosis as a way of breaking the thinking. So if you had a CD, or let's call it a CD, since I used to use the example of records like LPs, but we'll use CDs, okay? And you put it in a machine, it's always going to play the same song, isn't it?
Yes.
It never play another song, it always plays that song. And so we, in our thinking, have certain patterns that are neurons firing in a certain sequence that give us these thoughts, and those patterns are stored in images and words in our neurology. Okay? They're stored in your body. So you lay down at night, or your daughter or son calls and you have a thought. Oh, I wasn't a good mom. Or, any number of things will trigger that. But it's a thought that's just waiting to happen, do you see? It's not an original thought. It's a thought that came with your programming. It came with, it's kind of like, when you buy a computer and they've put a bunch of programs in there for you already. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the default programs that are in the computer when you buy it from the store. We as human beings sort of come with some default programs as well. And most of them are just about having us survive, get by, make it, not fail, avoid being dominated or dominating others in order to avoid being dominated, usually. So those are default programs. Part of the work that I do is I work with people to go to break those patterns. So when is it that you have those thoughts or feelings? That you weren't a good mother, for example?
Oh, say it again, I'm sorry. What was your question?
When you have those thoughts and feelings that you weren't a good mother, let's just pick that one, okay?
Okay.
That I wasn't a good mother, I messed up my kid's life or whatever. When you start to have those thoughts, how do you know when it's time to have that thought?
How do I know when it's time? I really don't get your question.
Exactly. Because it's not in time, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah. And so just by asking a question like that, your brain went zzz and sort of shorted out part of that program. So how do you know it's time to have those thoughts? If you had those thoughts, what higher purpose would they serve?
Like, higher purpose? I really don't get your question.
I understand. So they serve no higher purpose, do they? Those thoughts that I was not a good mother, they don't serve a higher purpose.
Right, that's right.
Right.
They don't have any purpose. Yeah, that's right.
They serve no, they have a purpose, but they have no higher purpose.
That's right.
Right? They have a purpose. The purpose may be to help you feel bad about yourself, or
Exactly.
right, to cause you to doubt yourself or to have low self-esteem. So they do serve a purpose. You know, I mean, if you wanted to have low self-esteem and feel bad about yourself and doubt yourself, it would be good to keep those kind of thoughts around, wouldn't it?
How come those thinking comes to your mind when you are studying? When you are with other people or you are working, it doesn't come to your mind. Why, when I'm studying, it comes to my mind? Why, when I'm tired or lonely or hungry, it comes to my mind?
Well, because they're your old friend. They're like, you know, like your old. It's like a trunk full of old memories that you can open and, oh yeah, I was a bad mom. You know, oh, there's that thought. I was single, so I really probably screwed it all up really bad. You know, you go through this trunk of old memories, and you ressentir is the French way of saying it. You resent or re-feel again those feelings, and they serve the purpose of keeping you small. Now, it's interesting that while you're studying, in other words, you're attempting to expand your mind, expand what's possible for you in the future, move forward into something that is pleasurable and happy and makes a difference for other people, cause a good effect in the world, and as you're doing that, the part of you that wants you to stay small keeps reminding you. Remember, you weren't very good at being a mom, you know. It's not your friend. It's like some negative thing that whispers in your ear to remind you, oh, you weren't so good. You know, you were a single mother. You screwed that up, you know. So it's a part of us that when we try to grow, it'll try to hold us back. So is it true that there's a part of you that wants to expand and make a difference, and there may be another part of you that would just doesn't think that you're worthy of that?
Exactly.
Yeah, and those two parts of you are working apart, but they are working towards the same level, towards the same ultimate goal. You know, the part of you that is worried about everything and that whispers negative things in your ears and like that, that part of you, if I were to be in a session with you, the sessions that I do with people in which, that are called advanced neurological repatterning, we would get to the core of what purpose does that thought or that part of you serve. And it would be something like to protect you, to keep you safe, to keep you from making mistakes, something like that. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, it's usually something like that. And so it wants to keep you safe, and if I was to ask it so as to what, and for what reason would you want to be safe, and so forth, you would eventually start answering questions on a much, much higher level so that I could live a full and happy life, so that I could be fully self-expressed, so that I could share my wisdom with others and help their lives be better, right?
Yes.
That would be a higher purpose for this negative thing. And then if I was to call out the positive side of you, the part of you that wants to be a nurse, that wants to get an education, that wants to move on in life and make a difference for people, and I ask it, why? Why do you want to do that? It would have the same answers. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that I could be fully self-expressed and happy and financially secure and make a difference for other people and leave a lasting legacy in the world and cause other people to be happy and fulfilled, right? So you would find that these two parts of you that are working separately, one that we might call the negative you or the positive you, right? That they're actually working towards a common goal. And that you actually have more in common than they do apart. But that they've been working against each other, pulling against each other, and that once these two parts of you begin to come together and work together, so that you see the negative for what it is and you see the positive for what it is, but you know that it's all working towards a higher good, then something happens in your neurological system that was not possible before.
Okay.
Like one part of you is going down this road and another part of you is going down this road, and they end up being on the same road, and all of the power that you were losing over here and over here come together, and there's a synergistic thing that happens that I call a breakthrough. And a breakthrough is not just sort of getting better or overcoming something or learning to deal with or tolerate some hindrance or holding back. No, 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 no. A breakthrough is when what held you back in the past no longer has any power to hold you back and joins in with the positive side of you that is moving forward, and you don't just go twice as fast, you start moving at an exponential rate. You start growing exponentially, and it happens in an instant like that. It happens very, very quickly. When those two things come together, there's such energy and power. People usually start laughing and crying or something at the same time. It's very powerful, cathartic moment when people break through to a whole nother level of consciousness and awareness, and resources that they didn't even know they had begin to break through to the surface. All kinds of things that you never would have imagined are available to you. New levels of intelligence, new levels of physical well-being, the ability to heal yourself and to heal others, like really. The ability to see into other people and have compassion and be able to see what's making them work and hear them for what they're really saying, because now you're connected with your own true self. And so, are people happier in that state? You bet. Does it mean they have no problems? No, of course they have problems. As long as you're human, you're going to have problems. But the power and the ability to deal effectively with those problems is off the charts. You know, it's like going from being a beginning swimmer to being a champion swimmer. You know, or somebody who can barely ride a bicycle to somebody who can ride with no hands and, you know, without thinking. It's the difference between, like, do you drive a car?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember when you first tried to drive a car?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary. You didn't know how to do it, and you probably ran off the road and who knows what, right? It was a terrifying experience. And now you probably drive the car and talk on the phone and put on makeup and drink coffee and everything else at the same time, right?
That's true.
You're not supposed to do that.
I believe it's a technique. You have to learn that technique.
Well, it's taken me a lifetime to learn these techniques. So, and I teach these techniques. The people that are my clients learn how to do this work with themselves. Because part of transformation, and the difference between transformation and therapy, okay, and I'm going to tell you, give me the opportunity to do this, okay, and that's what I really wanted to talk about today is one of the differences. Therapy assumes that something is wrong here. Yes?
Yeah.
Something's wrong here. I'm broken, or I'm hindered in some way, or I'm... another way of saying it is that I am a victim. I am a victim of the past, something that happened in the past, or maybe many things that happened, so I'm a victim of the past. I'm a victim of my circumstances. I'm a victim of my limited abilities. Either, you know, I'm too tall or too short, or I'm a woman, or I'm a man, or, you know, or I'm Persian, or I'm black, or white, or Chinese, or whatever I am. And so because of that, so the word because, okay, we'll come back to that word in a minute. But the word, whatever you assign cause to is very, very, very crucial. And if you say, I am this way because of anything else, right? Because of that, because of that, because of that, anything that you say because of that is outside yourself is a lie. It's a lie that we tell ourselves, and everybody agrees about it. And then we go gathering agreement. I am the way I am because I don't have an education. I am the way I am because I was born to a poor family, or whatever, right?
Yes.
So that's a lie. You are not that way because of anything outside of yourself. And so the entire model of traditional therapies has always been to treat the person for something that's wrong with them because of something outside of them. Do you see? Something they had no control over, something they couldn't help, something they were a victim of. So to treat a person as if they were a victim is already a lie. Do you see?
Yes.
It's an inauthentic relationship to spiritual reality. It's inauthentic. And so to treat somebody as if there was something wrong with them because of something that happened to them is inauthentic to begin with. So that's one model. It's been working for years. I don't want to get a million calls from a bunch of therapists saying, "Hey, what are you talking about? You're disrespecting my thing." I mean no disrespect. I'm just calling it like I see it. Okay? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a PhD. I'm a guy that has lived a full life and that has helped thousands and thousands of people, though. So I'm not just some guy on a bus. Okay? Just talking. I'm talking from my experience. So, you might want to try on and see if this fits. If it doesn't, throw it away. Right? If what I'm saying doesn't match your reality, you're welcome to disagree with it or just to simply not use it and go someplace else.
Right.
But
You're absolutely right.
Then there's another.
They're thinking about something that they're not reality.
Yeah, there's another model. We as human beings have advanced exponentially. In my lifetime, there wasn't even color television. Forget about cell phones and iPods and stuff like that. There wasn't even color TV. Okay? Jet airplanes didn't exist, when I was a kid. So that's it. That's how fast we've gone in just 50 years. Can you imagine? If we're using a model for treating people psychologically that was invented a couple hundred years ago, 100 and some odd years ago, right? It's an older model. So we as human beings, and the technology of dealing with people has, and dealing with people is not a powerful way to say it. The technology of causing transformation in people and allowing people to have insights has developed. In Zen or Tibetan or many old ancient technologies, you'd sit and stare at a wall for a few years, or you'd go hang out in a cave, or you would sit at the feet of a wise man and he'd tell you everything until you finally got it. Or you'd you'd go be a monk and rest in silence and pray for 50 years. Those were technologies and they worked. But they were slow technologies. Now, today, there are technologies that are very, very rapid, and in which you could have a person see on their own. I don't do it to you. I don't do anything to my patients or clients. I simply interact with them in such a way that they begin to see the truth for themselves. I don't tell them what's true, but we have a question and answer inquiry session in which we begin to realize over, the course of an hour or so that, I could actually be responsible for my life. So in the model of therapy, the model of NLP and hypnotherapy and the technology, the advanced neurological repatterning that I'm using today, we come from the assumption that you are whole and complete, you are not broken, and there's nothing wrong. You're a normal, healthy person, and you may have some thoughts that are hindering you from being effective in your life. You may have some thoughts and some patterns and some ways of being that are keeping you from being fully self-expressed, experiencing happiness and fulfillment. And so we go to the place where that is stored in your neurology, and we literally erase it like that. Okay?
Wow.
Okay, now I'm going to go back to the CD from earlier. Remember I said if you put a CD in a machine, it'll always play the same song, right?
That's right.
Now what if we took that CD and we melted it? Will it play the song? Never again, right?
That's right.
Never play the song again. Or we could scratch it up or something else or put it in there. Or there are something called rewritable discs, okay, where you can actually erase the disc and you can write a new song on there, a new program, okay? So what we do in advanced neurological repatterning is we literally destroy the old patterns that have held you back. You can hang on to the ones that you find useful. You know, the subconscious mind will not let go of things it's not ready to let go of. So if it finds something useful, it'll hang on to it. I don't have to worry about it, and neither do you, because nobody can get you to do something that your subconscious mind doesn't want to do. So if your subconscious mind, who's truly in charge of your life, wants to hang on to something, it does. But we take all of the unuseful things that are causing negative effects in your life, and we simply erase them, destroy them, delete them, just like you could highlight a paragraph in a document on your computer and push delete, and it's gone. You empty the trash and it's out of there. It can't come back. Okay? Then you type in what you want. You program in what it is that you want. And so I work with people not just to help them get rid of old patterns that are holding them back, but literally to design a life that is fulfilling and that is an expression of their true inner self, the real them that they've just discovered. And when you discover this, you're moved to tears. It's powerful. That's why I call it a breakthrough, because you move through a barrier that may have held you back your entire lifetime, and you find yourself on the other side of something, looking back, and what used to hold you back seems small and insignificant compared to what you now see. You know, there was a time you couldn't tie your shoes. And now that seems small and insignificant. It's unbelievable for you to even be considering that, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it's just like not even an issue for you anymore. Driving a car, not an issue, you know? Getting yourself dressed, you couldn't do that in the beginning. Now you do that anytime you want, right? So there's lots of things that can hold you back for 30, 40, 50, 60, an entire lifetime. And some people live their entire lifetime, most people do, inside of certain barriers that are constructed by their mind only. They're not real barriers. They're only barriers in their thinking, and they've been reinforced over time and time again, so that they become a reality. They become the reality that the person spends their entire lifetime in. And then that kind of a person, the only person they can attract into their life, like a mate or friends and stuff, are people who are in that same kind of category. In other words, people kind of like on the same, I'm going to say, vibratory level, the same level of energetic vibration. You will attract people like you, and you'll be attracted to them because they're like you and because they validate who you think you are.
That's right. That's right. I have a test on Wednesday, but after that I was going to sign up for a women's only workshop for this January 31st. I hope I'm able to go there, because it's some other stuff is going on in my life, but I'm sure this time I'm gonna really think about that, because sometimes it really gets so much energy from you, you know. So
please do break through those.
Thank you so much. I got my answer, and you're always good, and I love your shows, and I love Dr. Stasoyan, and thank you so much for your time.
Well, you're welcome. Thanks for watching my show, and thanks for calling. And just allow what you've just taken in. Write it down. Take notes. In other words, lock it in. I just gave you a lot of information, and some of it's pretty advanced. So take the time to, there's gathering, there's locking it in, and sometimes that just means to write down some notes just so it doesn't go away, right? Some of the things that you just got, and then share it with one other person or two other people. In other words, talk about it. That's 3 phases of learning, and I suggest you do that on your test as well. How you know something is you can teach it to someone else, okay? You could tell someone about it. So take it in, write it down, or lock it in, what I call locking it in, and then share, even if it's just, whatever level of sharing. Don't worry about getting it right. Share what you understood. And then you'll find that you'll be able to integrate this thinking into your life, and then it'll allow it to influence you so that you can have the breakthroughs that you're really looking to have.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, have a good day.
Bye-bye.